Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we're pleased to bring you another A Link to the Past Randomizer Crossworld Keysanity match. And it is brackets. And today we have Goomba versus Cadenza in round 1. I'm joined on commentary today by Excalibur. And how you doing today?
Doing all right. It's the second race today, so if I say anything that's not about this game at all, I apologize.
Well, I appreciate...
How are you doing?
Good. I appreciate your stepping in to do comms. It's always very much appreciated. So we have a couple minutes about a couple minutes before the race starts. Anything you'd like to say?
Well, I would like to advertise that the community is always looking for more volunteers to do commentary and tracking, so that people don't have to do multiple races in one day. And they should join the 2020 Cross Keys Discord to volunteer.
Let me.
Other than that, just hoping for a good race.
Okay, there we go. One of the commands we can do. Okay, so just, I think about a minute and a half, because I think a minute in the countdown and then about 30 seconds before the race actually starts.
So what do you think of when you start one of these? What are you hoping to see? And if you're Goomba and you presumably have Execution Edge, are you hoping that the seed is awkward? Or do you just want to get in here and get out?
I think he's hoping that there's no troll items and no troll locations. And that there isn't like a progression item that you last location, because that always feels bad when you have to double or triple dip a location to find something.
So does that mean as the underdog you're cheering for the trolliest seed possible?
Well, if you're the viewer, and here we go. If you're the viewer, just big key at Sanctuary, Tower of Hair, and just $20 at Link's house.
So nothing useful yet. Goomba going for the old-fashioned start, but Cadenza making what is arguably the more volatile but maybe better play of starting at Sank and getting that extra information right off the bat. Whereas Goomba's making the conservative traditional play of flake flipping up to Witch's Hut and then presumably doing Hula Hand to make sure that he has money before he goes anywhere interesting. Also investigating prize packs there. I'll admit it never occurred to me to kill that guy before.
Okay, sorry about that. I had Cadenza's audio on, and apparently it was a little low. So we are getting an MSU today.
Cadenza going for the no-look thief drop. Probably reasonable.
And it looks like Goomba's going for Hula Hand. Also traditional start for a lot of runners. Gotta get 225 rupees, I believe. Good for buying bombs or potentially going to Zora if necessary.
Yeah, and it just... There's lots of bomb shops in the game, and you're likely to walk into one before too long.
Yeah, and there's also...
Goomba hasn't found any bomb prize packs yet. And there's the old man. That'll be a good save and quit point when they get around to rescuing the old man. Just north of Kakariko. And speak of the devil.
Yep, bomb shop.
Bombs.
Oh, then we find the back of Desert at right side Elder's house.
That'll be handy.
Not a bad location, especially if they find the flute. Oh, and looks like Desert's hanging out in Kakariko today.
Those are some slow connectors and only one item, so I'm sure Cadenza will be back to pick that up after finishing the Kakariko route.
And okay, was that? Not quite sure what was in the well. Looked like it was something blue. Either.
So I thought it was bombs, and I was like, who needs bombs? And it turns out Cadenza needs bombs.
Yep. she only has 21 rupees, not enough to buy much of anything, if anything at all.
Yeah, one downside of getting yourself to Kakariko this quickly is you just don't have any stuff.
I believe it's Chrono Trigger for the MSU. I'm not quite sure. Oh, and Goomba finding Uncle. And bombs.
And checking the tree pole. Not going to pull that one again. And this is as good a time as any to do Spiral Cave. And it's the end of the road anyway, so might as well follow, but... and at least Goomba has lots of bombs, but mini Moldorms are still super trolly. Back to there later. So, Kakariko seems to have been, other than Desert Palace, not that good so far.
Sorry if I'm quiet, I'm trying to do some behind-the-scenes things.
Yeah, so Norinato failed to mention that she's also running the stream in the background, so again, more volunteers would be nice. So, Goomba's found his mirror, and so presumably should be more willing to follow connectors. If and when he finds some. And Cadenza's found Ganon, so we'll need the hammer. Seems likely anyway. And that Hera Big Key is now a little bit more suspicious, given that Tower of Hera is in Sphere 0. And with the glove, still can't actually kill any bad guys, but that opens up a whole bunch of entrances.
Ooh, oof. That's a nice find in Tower of Hera. Early weapon.
I said a minute ago that Kakariko didn't have anything in it, and it turns out I was being a bit premature. And in an unusual move for cross keys, I think we're about to see a dungeon completed in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, not able to do the what's becoming the Hera Pot method to get to the boss and in Tower of Hera, but with that big key, that's not an issue. Oh, and a troll item.
At least Cadenza hasn't been over to the witch yet. It's one reason to put off. One reason to put off the witch route is hope that the mushroom turns up.
Another big key for Misery Mire.
It turns out we did need the Hera big key this game.
Yes, depending on if Misery Mire is a pendant or not.
That's fair, but
always good to have as many big keys just in case.
I mean, this Hera has been super loaded.
Yeah, it's kind of... I don't remember seeing Hera this loaded in a while.
Well, not only loaded, but also, like, right at the beginning of the seed, right? Just 8 minutes in fighting Moldorm.
Yep, and now we get to see whether there's a pendant or crystal. Oh, pendant, but still worth it.
Still, yeah. Heck, at this point, we're still at the like, hey, bombs are nice part of the game. So that 10 bomb drop isn't nothing.
And if the viewers are lucky, it could be a ped seed.
Yeah. So Ice Palace, I was going to say Ice Palace makes that less likely, except we have the items for Ice Palace, except for the fire source. So,
Well, at least Cadenza does. Oh, and hello, Swamp.
Good old high five there. This Cadenza heading back to desert. I've lost. Oh no, Paradox. Missed this.
Potentially
first
get potentially get 7 good or 7 meh items.
I mean, in a lot of ways. I mean, yes, the 7 items are great. The 2 really fast connectors are also
True.
nice to find. You know, Paradox is just a nice place to know about.
Goomba gonna be very happy to find that hammer and his first real weapon.
Well,
Oh, Ice
Cadenza
Rod.
has found an Ice Rod, which is not, and some health. Not the best Paradox game ever, but you'll take it. Do you know the seeds for this race off the top of your head, Mary?
No, I can look it up real quick.
And speaking of connectors that are nice to find, left side race game gets you $50, but that's one less place you have to look. One less mirror spot for later in the game, and one less awkward exit to find.
Okay, if I'm reading it correctly, Goomba, I believe, is seed 8, and I believe Cadenza is 57.
Those numbers add up to the right totals. So. Yeah, Goomba's certainly one of the name players in the cross keys scene, whereas so he's obviously a big favorite in this race, but there's plenty of upsets out there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
showed off
upsets.
this week.
Cadenza getting bullied by that hard hat beetle.
Going for throwing yourself into pit strats, the easy way to do.
Nice
Laser
compass.
Both runners completing Laser Bridge without any difficulties, which is nice to see.
It doesn't look like they found much of value.
Yeah, but that's 4 more tick boxes on the old checklist. It's
Yeah, better to know where it is, because if Turtle Rock is required, it's easy access to the boss.
yeah, I mean, they've got a whole bunch of dungeons just sitting around in Kakariko. Purple Alex Ice Rod was in Paradox Cave, which is two-thirds of it is in Kakariko.
Or as we can probably call it, Stackarico.
Cadenza heading back into desert to get 1.5 items and check the last exit. This is a slow connector, but at least there's an item in here for your trouble. And a rupee. Ooh, ah.
Yep, single rupee.
We haven't found any Dark World access yet, which makes Goomba's mirror advantage less relevant. But yeah, sooner or later that mirror will come in handy. There we go.
Oh, and finding Blind's hut, but not able to do it.
Yeah. I believe this is the path that will lead to her mirror. And having found Ganon is just going to go straight to the secret passage. There's a minor advantage of doing the castle a little bit later is that at least you don't have to walk all the way around if something good.
Looks like Goomba's going to do some bunny shenanigans.
Might as well. Does he Dungeon Bunny revive in Hyrule Castle? Kind of a pain, but looks like a moment of indecision. And in we go. This is Old Man Rescue. Let's see if Goomba missed out on something good earlier by dying in Spiral. A lamp's not nothing. And having with the mirror in hand, getting spattered at the pyramid is also pretty good. I missed where Goomba found Old Man entrance, Old Man Rescue. But finding the top of the mountain, or finding Death Mountain is always a nice part of the game. Or is always a good find. I can assemble words, I promise. I have to at least pretend to know how to do it for the next little while.
Goomba finding the other fire source in the game.
Also, a dungeon that you complete full clear way more often across these than almost any other mode. Ganon's Tower, home of 10% of the game's items.
It looks like he's going to be going left as far as he can, just doing bomb jumping without the hook shot.
We'll see if he quits. I mean, given the health situation after Stalfos Room or keeps going, I would expect him to call it a day here. Cadenza also opting for some bunny exploration. With the mirror in hand, it's pretty good value. Double your money, even if you have to super bunny your way around a bunch of...
Oh, I'm sorry, hot dog soup. I think that's a recent addition, the seed numbers, because I'm pretty sure I did restream yesterday. I didn't see them.
I mean, it's... Given that we have a seeded tournament, it's a good addition. So.
Oh, definitely. Oh, bomb shop. Palace of Darkness and Misery
Wow.
Mire.
Remember that Misery Mire big key we found?
Yep, definitely required. Yeah, it's always hard. It's always hard when your last items that you need to find are big keys that you need for a required dungeon.
And they're sitting on Stumpy.
Yeah, or some other, they're sitting in a dungeon that you found a progression item in and you dipped out of. And it's in a later chest.
Yeah. There are so many ways for this game to be mean. Though in this game, they don't have any of the nice transportation items other than the mirror, which is the best one. But they're well equipped on sort of utility stuff.
Yeah, finding sword early is always nice.
Yeah, sword early, hammer early, glove early. Still hunting the moon pearl, but again, we're only 20 minutes in, so there's plenty of map left to check off their lists.
Yeah, still a lot of locations to explore.
Hopefully, we don't ever have to take the smith home, because that is not a great location to bring a smith to.
I missed, where was the smith?
Eastern Palace.
Not fun.
Nope.
Probably wouldn't be too bad if you have a flute. I guess it depends on how trolly the flute location is.
It's still. I mean, yeah, it's still not great. It's still a screen transition and a bunch of stairs, but
oh yeah,
that's way better than walking him across the world. Just wait and see. There are going to be flute smiths this seed.
Tower Hair, just a bomb shop or just a shop.
Cadenza also opting not to bunny explore Hyrule Castle.
Oh, just a big 20 on Floating Island.
And Cadenza gets to what seems like the rare luxury in Cross Keys of rescuing the old man while being able to see him. I feel like in something like 90% of seeds, you do best room in the dark, despite the fact that that's theoretically out of logic. Oh, don't get bodied by the bedrocks.
Oh no, dying just before she delivers the old man. Oh, and Goomba finding Thieves' Town?
And opting not to go in. That's, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go right back over here. Yep.
I think he was just checking the other entrance, see if it had anything better.
Cadenza, the one less horrible part about dying when returning the old man is at least he's a temporary save and quit point. So.
Oh, and big key. Oh, interesting. Big key to Tower of or Thieves' Town, where Goomba is.
Yeah, and Goomba of course has that in hand because he rescued the old man himself.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, me too, but I'm going to pretend like I didn't.
Okay, and nothing.
Without the small key in hand, the question of going to the back is an interesting one. What do you think?
Yeah, well, they'll be able to still clear everything except for that the big chest. But then there's always the consideration: do you want to come back for the big chest? Because it's really just it's going to be one item that you're leaving behind, and it's not really going to be like a high priority when you have other locations that have much more items. Oh,
On the other hand,
he's going back there.
Doing it now gets with high probability you never have to come back for one item, right?
Yes.
So you're just making a 10 and 216 bet that nothing important is in that chest, which
always a gamble.
You can make that bet a few times. If you make that bet too many times, one of the times you make it, you're wrong. So.
Yes. Cadenza finding another connector and deciding to go through it.
That's one of the good ones. Probably the best one. These are two otherwise completely inaccessible locations, and a drop down that's not great either. One minor note that people might not be aware of is there's always a connector to the right side of Laser Bridge or of Turtle Rock Bridge, but there's not necessarily a connector on the left-hand side. That's a minor programming note that we haven't gotten around to changing yet. And it's not clear that it's worth it because it's kind of an interesting quirk.
And finding King's Tomb and just a shield.
The most useful item in the game. The Fisher Price shield, sure to help against absolutely nothing of interest. Yeah, incoherent. It's in implementation detail, but you actually get some information out of which side you come from.
Oh, interesting. Goomba just found the other small key to Thieves' Town in the Maiden Cell, so he will be able to check that big chest. Oh, and a GT small.
I'm not sure if that being something good or something bad is more trolling, but...
We're gonna get some information. Either Thieves' Town might be the last pendant, or it could be a crystal.
It would be kind of cruel of the random number generator to make this another pendant, given that... I don't know. We're 30 minutes in and we have two dungeons complete. I guess that's how the game is actually supposed to work.
Oh,
but...
and it's a crystal. So I'd consider that less than 27 minutes in first crystal pretty early for cross keys.
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, it's just about finding the dungeons. There's a few dungeons that don't require very much stuff, and so if they turn up early, you just beat them. Same with deal with Terra. So the Thieves' Town Small can't be in any of the chests locked by the Thieves' Town Small. So, given that it was in the back, it was in the chest that wasn't behind itself.
And the gate now only having 20 rupees today.
Cadenza making her way to turn in her mushroom. She's been on a long overworld route for the last 10 minutes or so, and has turned up not a lot of value. Yeah, that's a convenient location for the potion shop. Don't have to do this walk very often in Cross Keys.
And it looks like Goomba's making this Desert Palace play. Oh, and interestingly enough... Oh, wait. No, never mind. Oh, we're also going to find out whether this dungeon is a pendant or crystal.
Well, yeah, we are in Goomba is. I think that, again, this is completely completable. It's not going to get, yeah, the boots would make it a little bit faster, but with Fire Rod in hand, just go shoot Landmo in the face, right? There's not a lot of, this seems like a perfectly fine play to me. And he gets full pendant information if it's a pendant, so hooray. Oops. Time for hammer
Running out of magic. Oh, I'm making quick work out of Landmolas. Oh, and we get another crystal. That's actually pretty quick, 2 crystals sub 30.
Yeah. Jet Seed incoming?
I hope so.
Anyway, still lots of stuff to find, so we shall see. Goomba following the desert connector now. This has been an epic bunny walk by Cadenza. They've been at it for quite some time.
Oh, and just pretty much useless map because he already has the information about Pod.
So if you happen to be in desert later with boots, do you come back and get that half magic?
I personally would. I'm not sure if either of these runners will, because I think they feel confident enough.
Yeah, but it's not just confidence. It's also it just is genuinely faster to have half magic.
Well, that's true. I guess it depends on whether they feel it's worth the time investment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of surprising that you can pull on things as a Super Bunny, given that you can't pull open Beavstown. I mean, I don't know if you can get Overworld Super Bunny, but it's not obvious that you can pull things as a bunny, and that's the only place in the game that it's actually useful, so it's a game knowledge thing that it's unfortunate that Linda didn't know, but I'm kind of not surprised, if that makes sense.
And Goomba finding the Eastern Palace Big Key and the Desert Palace Small Key after leaving Desert.
Yeah, but Desert Right was somewhere reasonably convenient, so I'm not sure why Goomba mirrored there and then quit.
Maybe it was his muscle memory.
I assume that was a mirror, and then, oh wait, I've checked these entrances. But...
And going back into Desert.
2 quick items.
Small key to Ice Palace.
Cadenza opting for Dungeon Bunny Revival, which of course is out of logic, but especially at that particular door is completely free. Way to get into this dungeon as a bunny. DH Thumb, yes. This is Goomba's MSU pack.
Oh, and finding Misery Mire at Ice Rod Cave.
And everybody's favorite bomb restock room.
A Graveyard Ledge. Oh, and finding another pod small key.
Two is not yet at Fire Alarm Klaxon's find pod levels of logic, but ooh, Cadenza. Careful with the old chain chops. Whew. The randomly very, very scary chain chops. See if the Super Bunny pays off. Cadenza had to leave Blindside behind. And with high probability is going to have to come back. Fortunately, that's not the sort of place that you leave behind for very long. 5 chests is a strong enough pull that you'll make the time to go check it. It's been one epic bunny quest by Cadenza. In a mostly blank mini Moldarm cave.
Yeah, another GT small key.
Yeah, which if only we had some more items would yield a bunch more items in GT, but still missing, well, some of the toys, though that hookshot and hammer and a bunch of keys is enough to go left at least.
And yeah, they're still gonna need to find a bow.
Still makes me smile to see them have to do the vanilla potion shop walk in a entrance seed.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
So our trackers have just reminded me that the back of Escape is behind the Lumberjacks, which means at some point we probably want to actually escape. It's a thing that they've both found Hyrule Castle and have chosen neither to do the front nor the back, presumably because they didn't have the sewer key in hand.
Yeah, I believe that was in Hookshot.
It's in I thought it was Mini Moldarm, but either way.
Mini Moldarm, okay.
Either way, now that Goomba has it in hand, that presumably means the next time he happens across a Hyrule Castle entrance, or what is convenient, he'll be more willing to go all the way through and see what's there, without having to worry about stealing keys or safe coming or whatnot.
I'm not finding anything of value in Super Bunny Cave. It's two big 20s.
And so we're 40 minutes in. I feel like we've seen a lot of the light world. Cadenza has also done an epic bunny walk all the way around the dark world. So where's the moon world?
Yeah, that's a big question for both runners right now.
So
If it's really mean, it could be the dam prize.
No, the dam is in the dark world.
Okay. Not gonna work.
Because chat was complaining that Cadenza didn't Super Bunny hold the dam.
Okay.
And Super Bunny is not in logic, so that would be, that would be a mode that could exist, but thankfully this isn't it. Because I think most Cross Keys runners get quite enough bunny walking in their lives without it being in logic. And as mentioned, we're kind of running out of entrances, so it's not surprising that both of them are finally getting to the desert area, but Goomba being the first to check the back exit to the Old Man Cave. Is it Old Man House? Yeah, so I believe that with all 4 GT big keys, left side GT is a decent bet.
It looks like he's going back to GT. Yeah, with that hook shot in hand, make things a little bit easier. Actually, a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, this whole left side is fully in logic with all the keys and a hook shot and a hammer. So, or a hook shot and a weapon of most descriptions. This has to be the.
Oh, I'm finding a castle tower small key.
Having to do bomb strats through the gauntlet, another mostly Cross Keys special. This mode certainly teaches you all of the slightly awkward ways to beat dungeons with unusual equipment, because you get to places you usually can't until you have more stuff.
And there's the flute, and it's been in there more than once this week. That exact same spot, if I remember correctly.
So the flute is cool. Like, it's a good toy. It's a super mobility tool, but it doesn't actually get you anywhere that they haven't already been able to get without either a set of mitts or question mark.
Yeah, there's that pod big key in Rando room.
I mean, this left side is paying out in cool stuff. Goomer's not going to regret this play.
I think in the flute sometimes more for just like faster mobility.
Oh, I mean, the flute is an excellent thing to have with you, but it doesn't unlock any new places to go. The bomb jump you can't see. Fortunately, this is a pretty small gap, so. Goomer has 3 more checks back here. And then what? Fighter sword, ice armor. Let's watch Cadenza's stream for a minute, because Gooma's going to be there for a while.
Yes. Well, it's still better. I've seen boomerang strats on ice armors, and that was not a fun experience for the runner.
As A pointed out earlier today, there's a whole bunch of items you can beat ice armors with that put it fully in logic. That doesn't make it fully a nice thing to do. Apparently hammer armors is in logic, and that sounds awful. Oh, cane? Cane's a nice thing to find. Because it lets you do more of Ganon's Tower while you're here.
See what tile room's going to hold today.
While this is going on, I'm going to refresh my screen. So I was busy refreshing. Did Goomba find anything good on right side GT?
I don't think so. Oh, apparently Swamp's small. Well, that could be important.
I mean, yes. It's always a thing you'd rather have in your pocket than not. But
and getting a Dark World map check.
Always a chance it leads you astray.
But it doesn't look like he got any more information than he already had.
It did pick up the Mernthwell, which is what we've been looking for. And as previously mentioned, with the castle key in hand, happy to go to the both the front and presumably right afterwards the back of the escape. Every time you see Link walk through these long, straight corridors they put in the early game, you're like, why did you put all these long, straight corridors in the game before you did this? I don't understand, developers. That seems mean. Incoherent in chat making the good point that Goomba should go out and reset the castle to a light world dungeon rather than a dark world dungeon. So of course the rats are crickets in a piece of excellent 1980s this makes sense, we promise programming, which means they do a shed load of damage in the dark world, which is not so great in the dark. I mean, even with red mail, it's still inconvenient. But there's torches through most of these rooms, so at least most of the trickier ones. So if need be, he can light a few torches. VHSTOM, apparently at some point people thought about trying to mix the crystals in the item pool, and then it rapidly became clear that that wasn't very much fun. So.
Oh, Dark Cross paying off. It's flippers.
We recently got a swamp key. I say Goomba knows his dark escape, which is good to see. Well, not really, but you understand what I mean.
Where did Cadenza find the lamp?
Somewhere Goomba will never go back to.
Okay.
Spiral.
Okay.
Spiral at the castle. So I would gamble that that's in Goomba's last 10 locations.
Oh, baby. There's some boots. And, oh, there's the big key to Ganon's tower. Nice.
Back to Hyrule Castle. A good place to go.
Well, he might be interested in Spiral Cave since he can do it the less laborious way.
Yeah, it's still at the at Hyrule Castle main entrance, which is a bit of an out-of-the-way place. I assume at some point if he's looking for connectors to somewhere good, that it might come up, but given that he's already found Turtle Rock Bridge, there's not, and Race Game left, there's not a ton of places that are that interesting to find connectors to anymore, other than Meyer, of course.
Fair.
Oh, and speaking of places that are interesting connectors to find, the top of Lumber Ledge. We're very carefully leaving that compass behind.
Oh, and finding Mimicade and actually being able to complete it.
Use that hammer, they got it 4 minutes or whatever.
Oh, and another pod small key.
For those of you that weren't here for the beginning of the race, Tower of Hera was in the Smith house with Big Key already in hand. They found a glove, a hammer, the Misery Mire Big Key. I think that's it. And beat the dungeon in the first 8 minutes of the seed, which is not something you see in Cross Keys all that often.
Nope. Looks like Goomba's going to check some of the boots locations.
I mean, on the way by, you might as well. And Cadenza bunny walked through all of this, but now with both Moon Pearl and boots in hand, Goomba can do it a heck of a lot faster. Whose position would you rather be in right now, Nari?
Probably Goomba. He has a few extra items.
Yeah. So he's now tracing over steps that Cadenza has already taken, though she took them as a bunny, and so, for instance, couldn't do Turtle Rock. Also, didn't have the cane, but and so she'll make up a little bit of time. But you know, she's tracing over his steps and vice versa.
either. Don't know if we'll need that.
I mean, it's less than a fetch quest's worth of items, really.
Although ether is pretty good to use in some of the dungeons to get rid of enemies quickly.
That's fair.
Especially with only fire sword.
Yeah, Link today loaded up on armor, but sword will turn up sooner or later. And these are the checks that Cadenza could not make while bunny walking. Nothing, but worth remembering. Cadenza is in the amusingly even worse position of that's your sword, I suppose.
Ew.
And lost her sword beams, which is unfortunate. One of the few times in the game you're super excited about sword beams.
Yes, probably one of the only times.
Yeah, it's like Ice Armos, Wither Up Room, in the beginning of Mire.
Yeah, if you don't have cane.
Question mark.
Goomba exploring Village of Outcasts.
And this is the entrance that, of course, Cadenza hasn't shown us already. Also, nothing.
It looks like he's going to activate his flute.
I assume it's a game knowledge thing, Allison, but like the Master Sword damage table on Armos is just ridiculous, right? So, shrug. Please don't die.
Cadenza probably very happy to get our Moon Pearl and to find that cane of Samaria. Yeah, we have her lives. We have her actual stream. She's not very happy.
The obnoxiousness of death warps with red mail continues to amuse me.
Oh, and there's that small key to Tower of Hera in the first chest in Swamp.
Yeah, we're not going back and checking that for a while.
No. Not unless they need to.
That's on Goomba's list with going through Spiral on... we'll get to that someday. And another Cross Keys special, Tile Room. So while Cadenza's playing a mini game, we can see if Goomba finds anything cool in Swamp. And with the advent of Diver Down, the left side of swamp plays have become so much more common. It used to be a big go-no-go point for a lot of runners. You can just skip these items, but now, with the 40-second faster clear time or something, it's just not a thing. Though that's not quite how you do it, Goomba.
Yeah, Goomba plays. There we go. And Cadenza finally able to do some Dark World exploration.
I mean, Cadenza's done lots of Dark World exploration.
Well, and actually be able to get items versus, having to Super Bunny.
She got a lot of good work done as a bunny. It was just...
Oh, red goo. Oh, left side swamp, not really holding much value except for our first bottle.
Oh. I feel like a late first bottle.
Oh, another bottle.
I guess that partially explains why the first bottle was so late. Alright, so how far away are we? We're an hour in. We've got 2 crystals. Or Goomba's got 2 crystals. Got a bunch of good stuff. Needs, a bow, a sword, and to find Skull Woods.
Yes, and pod.
And pod. I guess needs to find whichever of Skullwoods and Eastern is a crystal. Or whichever 2 out of 3 of, you know what I mean. In his mind, at least one of the back of Skullwoods and Eastern. So that's...
And he needs to find that other sword as well.
Yeah.
I forget where was that, the second one that Cadenza found.
I want to say somewhere on the overworld route that Goomba is doing around the Dark World, but the trackers are going to have to rescue me if I'm going to actually know what the answer is. Goomba doing a quite nice fighter sword target. And then having to do hammer on this phase and not going so well.
Oh, and he gets it. And getting a shield upgrade. Oh, and a crystal. Oh, but we already knew that.
We knew that. Or Goomba knew that. Trackers have rescued me and told me that Cadenza's Master Sword was at Sahasrara's hut. Or the outside of Sahasrara's hut.
Oh, looks like the damn prize was just 3 bombs.
Fluting around is not more convenient than all the walking. And I assume this is Goomba mostly here to follow the connector, but while he's at it, presumably picking up his half magic. Nope.
Nope, just one of the half magic. So that was what we're coming back for.
Yeah, I feel like that's the right call, right? That probably took him.
Yeah, that was a short trip.
20 seconds.
You were right. Yes, you were right.
And especially going to this fight, which Goomba is presumably doing to help. Well, one, it's a completable crystal dungeon, but two, or it's a completable potential crystal dungeon that otherwise gives him a lot of information. Cadenza running out of fire rod ammo, but using Master Sword spin strats to finish off.
Getting her second crystal.
Yeah, Goomba's not really in it. Doesn't really need the sword for anything until Ganon. With a hammer and as much experience as he has, he'll be alright. But being able to just go ham with the rods on Trinex presumably saves some time. So one option that doesn't get raised very much is you are allowed to play swordless cross keys. You set the flags, right? Surely seems to do, but it's allowed.
That just sounds awful.
I mean, I think that's most people's reaction to swordless in general.
That's fair.
But the entrance rando devs are committed to providing all of the options that are available in the regular rando, including swordless and retro, which is also a terrible idea, by the way. Don't do that. And there's inverted now. So if you want to play inverted, swordless, expert, Keysanity, cross keys, or Crossworld, you can. Would you like to do that?
Only I'm not that big of a masochist. I can only see someone who's an absolute masochist choosing all those modes combined.
Yeah. Or someone that gets really unlucky with the mystery seed.
Yes, you would have to be very unlucky. and yeah, part of the reason that those things evolve when as much is so that things like mystery work. Yeah. And when I was talking about Goomba getting another sword, I meant as far as in completion of the actual game.
Yeah, I mean it is an actual item required, progression item required for Go mode, which is one of the funnier things to be left with at the end.
Yes.
Goomba apparently didn't follow Paradox gave earlier. So Cadenza has now found her Hyrule Castle key in Desert Right, which hopefully leads to the back of Escape and her footwear. So I'm going to try to attempt Milena Nocturnum. You can choose your own music. This is actually what Goomba's done, using something called MSU packs. You have to track them down, but you can basically substitute any music you like for the tracks in the game. And some people have assembled quite good custom music that's reasonably appropriate for the various parts of the game. But if you just want to listen to, the Link Overworld theme in every place, I'm sure you can do that if you want. That sounds awful, but if that's what you want to do. And the Stumpy check is a big key.
Oh, for Skullwoods.
Not a good one, but
Oh, and Goomba I believe Goomba went in as a bunny into Blind's hut and was not able to get that chest in the bombable wall, but it looks like it was just a rupee.
never punished.
Oh, and Ice Palace at Swamp Palace.
So that's a place you were kind of hoping you never found, right? Like,
Yes.
you're not looking for it. You never find it, you don't have to worry about it. Now Gooma's going to have the...
Oh, and finding Eastern at Hype Cave. Interesting.
Is Goomba on the never go into Eastern until you can beat it contingent? I believe he is.
Yeah, he
believe.
generally is.
So, we'll see how that goes. I don't believe we've seen Goomba in Misery Mire.
No, I don't think he had the equipment for it
So
when he found
see
it.
if Cadenza finds anything good in here.
So far, she's found 3 bombs.
Going straight to the left-hand side, which is the... If you're to full clear in Keysanity, is the fast route, assuming you come in with a key. So it's good to see. It's good to see the correct route. Anytime people do things right, it makes me happy.
Yeah, and Sick Kid just had 3 bombs. Oh, big key to Ice Palace.
Speaking of things you'd rather not see, at least seeing it in the order, at least finding the big key before you make the fateful decision to go into the dark place is the right order, but...
Nico, I believe this is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon MSU pack.
Yeah, we would be using Cadenza's audio, but it's really quiet.
Yeah,
I'm actually listening to it.
Yeah, Cadenza's audio was like way too low, and you couldn't really hear it on the restream.
Two pieces of heart, one on each stream. Everybody's most exciting item to find.
So far, I don't think we've seen anything of value in Misery Mire.
Nope. And you hate to take that Mire just because it's such a long walk back in, especially without the boots. I'm kind of surprised she's going straight back in, but... Goomba doing the super sexy mirror in the dark world on the little shallow bit play to get to Hobo. Yeah, GFE, leaving the bridge chest behind would feel terrible, but walking all the way back in here also feels terrible. Also, I'm not sure why she's going this way to the chest instead of...
Yeah, she does have the big key.
Instead of just going straight to the back and hooking across.
And she just found the map to Skull Woods, so she is able to see whether that's potentially the last pendant. If she does a map check.
Yeah, which presumably she'll do before any. Yeah, this is the correct time to do a map check, but it actually gives you a reasonable amount of information. Goomba finally getting to the pyramid, picking up this small key. Goomba just on this entire overworld route around the Dark World, just making up a bunch of time, doing it all with the boots.
Looks like he's gonna check Egg Tower. Nothing in either chest.
And knowing that, having already been to the Lumberjack Tree via secret underground tunnels, Goomba doesn't need to worry about beating Aga ever in this game, so pick that off his list. Never going back. And now time for Master Sword Bowless Vitreous, which is part of the reason I wouldn't have been so keen to go straight back in if I was Cadenza.
Yeah, it's a pretty terrible fight. Speaking of Spyro Cave.
Oh! Good on you, Goomba, you get to have a laugh. Cadenza's doing a pretty good job of this Master Sword Vidi fight. Just got lightninged, but
she does
doing a reasonable job of playing with the goo without actually standing on it.
Yeah, she does need to be a little careful. She's down to 2 hearts. And she didn't get one of the bottles yet.
Yeah, no bottles, no cane, no cape, Master Sword. This is not a fight I'm interested in.
No.
I'm interested in her completing it successfully. I wouldn't be here. Boomerang on the library on Goomba's stream. He's not interested. Not even for menuing, because Quick Swap is just made worse by having the boomerang. Jeez, this fight takes for freaking ever with
she's
the
choosing to use the sword instead of the hammer.
I mean, at 1 heart, I don't really want to play with the hammer hitbox either.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Oh, and Goomba finding Pod.
If you had a couple of hearts to give, yeah, play with the hammer, but
yeah, that's
I don't want to walk all the way back there again.
Getting a first look at Pod.
Which we know we needed Bo to beat. It's our last, other than Goomba's second sword, but last sort of proper item that we're missing.
So do you think the bow could possibly be in here?
I mean, there's a bunch of checks. Welcome, raiding party. You are watching a past Crossworld Keysanity race between Goomba and Cadenza.
Yeah, thank you, Silver Gauntlets.
We appreciate your visiting. We think that Goomba's winning, but there's still plenty of race to go. We're still looking for a bunch of stuff. So hopefully you'll stick with us. Zooter co-op tournament. That sounds fun. I hope you guys have just had a good race, and welcome, welcome. There's the bow. In
Skullwoods.
the dungeon that Goomba's not in.
Well, it's not uncommon to double dip dungeons in
Yeah.
cross keys.
And in Keysanity in general, and Pod is, because of the path to Helmasaur is, I feel like, amongst the most double dip dungeons, both because of key logic and just because it's just not that bad to get to Helmasaur.
Oh, and there's another sword in Pod.
So that puts Goomba on bow. And nothing for Go Mode.
Pretty much, he knows where all the dungeons are.
He doesn't know. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know where Skullwood's back is, and
yeah,
he
that's
doesn't
true.
know that's the last.
Oh yeah, neither does
Crystal.
Cadenza. Yeah.
Cadenza has the map information.
But not the boss information.
Yeah. I missed it. Is this Turtle Rock Excursion the Skullwoods 3 entrance? I mean, incoherent. All the parts of the third dimension that actually exist in this game are kind of broken, so...
Oh yeah, yep. I just saw Cadenza leave the back of Skullwoods, so that's where she was.
On the other hand, Cadenza's looking for a bunch of stuff still. Well, but not the bow. Where is she? Is it just execution from here?
Oh, and she also found silvers.
I guess we know where the other bow. She needs a Turtle Rock Small to find the back of Skullwood, to find Pod. That's it? Am I missing anything, Murray? Oh, and flips.
Yeah, flippers. And she'd probably
Which
like
are-
to find those boots.
Yeah, all the footwear is in the back of Escape. So,
Oh yeah, and she
Which
also
seems
needs to
like-
find Eastern.
say again.
She also needs to find Eastern. I don't think she's found Eastern. Because that was in the Cookshot Cave. So if it was during her bunny shenanigans, she wouldn't have been able to use a bomb.
Right. But we know, though the players don't know, that Eastern is a pendant.
Oh yeah, yeah, between the two runners, yeah, we have that information.
So while Cadenza might be looking for Eastern, she'd be better off not finding it. At least until such time as she beats Turtle Rock. But she's missing, somewhat surprisingly missing any keys for.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, this is very much a case where they got thrown a whole bunch of GT keys so they could get to the Moon Pearl. But apparently the game is not interested in them beating Trinex. Because I believe that even though you can get to Trinex with one key, because the key logic assumes that you're a moron, you still have to get all the keys, because you could in principle squander them all over the place in order to put Trinex in logic. Goomba using the hookshot method of getting this chest, which you have to pay a heart for it, but at least
It's a little faster.
At least it will walk. Though he did miss a trick. Apparently, it is slightly faster to actually dash down the bridge rather than just throw yourself in the pit, because you dash faster than the camera moves. So I am told, though I haven't timed it carefully. Goomba showing off the power of having health when you get to this fight.
And red mail.
Doing about 4 times as much damage. The red potion doesn't hurt either.
I'm choosing the two, having more health using that hammer.
Yeah, I feel like this fight was about 45 seconds faster on Goomba's screen than on Cadenza's, which... Yeah. So just looking at the runners' map trackers, which they're conveniently streaming for us, the biggest batch of unchecked entrances on both runners' sides are the awkward entrances in Desert and Mire, plus the top of East Death Mountain of Dark East Death Mountain on Cadenza's stream. I assume Goomba hasn't been up there either, and is now going to go rectify that problem. Because we're still looking for some stuff. I believe that was the Curiosity Shop for all your fire shield needs. Random fact is that shop still sells fire shields if you have expert item placement on, so if you really need to get some protection before fighting blind, it is available. Goomba striking out on East Death Mountain.
I think he's looking for that bow.
Yeah. Given that they're effectively both in the same place, it's a touch unfortunate. Cadenza, unfortunately, finds Eastern with the bow and the big key in hand. So we'll go and avail herself of pendant number 3.
Yep, and finding her first Turtle Rock small key.
Well, that's item go mode, right? No, still need the flips.
Yes.
Still need the flips. I'm excited about, the things that Goomba found half an hour ago. Oh well. I'm surprised she's put off the castle this long. Presumably just had things to do, but...
Oh, and Goomba finally getting his temper.
Goomba doing a little dance in the jungle there, presumably to make sure he has Kiki. And Cadenza coming up with effectively nothing in Eastern as expected, other than, again, Turtle Rock small key. Not a thing usually you're in short supply of at this point, but with the way that cross keys works, the Turtle Rock smalls are just not that valuable.
Oh, yep, there's that awful Smith location.
We'll see if he's tempted to go get Mr. Smith. Bring him all the way across the rock.
Yeah, he'd have to kind of near into the Smith, because he doesn't have those mitts yet.
Well, it removes a temptation that he probably didn't want anyway.
Probably not.
And Ken's getting the bad news. Taking a few seconds here to think about her next move. I really hope she finds her way to the castle soon. All this walking around is depressing.
Oh, I believe Goomba's going to check that middle entrance to Hyrule Castle. Last time he came here, he only had the fighter sword. Oh, but nothing.
One of a few, very few things in the game that check to see if you have 2 swords. Cadenza off to fight Trinex, which again seems an entirely reasonable thing to do, and also gets you a warp to the front of Turtle Rock, which I believe she hasn't checked. So,
And
get a nice.
she also has the tempered sword, so it should be easier fight for her.
Not if you use up all your magic.
Yep, she's dancing with those heads.
Yeah, once you lose the plot on this fight. Oh boy. Oh good.
There we go.
Alright. I was worried when she got down to the last sliver of the magic bar that we were about to see the fateful dive straight into Trinex to get a new magic meter. At least the game has the good grace to put a magic pot outside. This looks like Goomba heading to sell woods to me,
Yes,
which will let him put the last pieces of the puzzle together.
and Cadenza getting her 4th crystal. Oh, and actually without the boots, unable to check the King's Tomb entrance.
Go. Go to the castle. So if you're Goomba, once you get this bow, I assume you're just out of here and you're off to go back to checking entrances. No.
Getting butter first.
So you get this bow.
Yeah,
You're,
he's out of there.
I got all items we need. All we gotta do is find the darn back of the place. And the first place to check is the back of the place. He's still checking items. What am I missing that he might be missing? Or is he just missing that he's in go mode? Oh, book. If the game is a right royal jerk, he could yet need either medallions or book. Or mitts, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, you're right. I forget that the mitts actually do things in Crossworld. They generally lock very few entrances.
Oh, I'm getting silvers.
Like here, if Mit's Unped comes true for you, you're a jerk. Just want to put that out there. And on account of they haven't found the book yet, we can't even go read it and find out. Of all the things that the rando devs put in, the book telling you what's on the pedestal is one of the cuter little touches that they programmed in. And bow in hand,
Yes.
and silver arrows in hand. Back to pod we go!
Yes, off to finish it off.
While he's here, picking up these right side bow lock locations. And that reminds me that Ice Palace exists and might contain the solutions to his problem. As far as Light World entrances that are unmarked on Goomba's tracker, the only ones on there are the Foreign Desert, which are variously book-locked, mitts-locked, or the useless connector. And in the Dark World, it's Turtle Rock, Ice Palace, and Mire. So, hunting for the mitts seems like the thing to do.
I think we found all of the item caves?
I mean, so then they're either in upstairs GT, or in here, or in Ice Palace, is what you're saying?
It could be at Ice Palace. There's
Sorry,
there are items
or, as our lovely tracker is suggesting, on the pedestal. That is one option. Well, that's not it. So, next port of call Ice, or next port of call upstairs GT? So I think that's what Goomba's down to.
pretty much for any denser locations.
I mean, if all the item caves are found... Oh, sorry, and all the one-offs we were talking about. So the back of Blind's hut...
He went back. No, he went back there.
It did that one. Alright, so we're down to the real dregs of the dregs here.
Yes. Looks like he's gonna make that Ice Palace play. Following Cadenza in.
The Ice Palace unlocks... It has the green pendant, so it's one bonus item. Gets you 2/3 of the way to the pedestal. Yay.
Nope, he's going into Eastern. Finish that off.
Well, and by finished off, you mean started.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Going for
Yeah,
the...
he probably is not going to finish it, knowing it's a pendant.
Burn it. I mean, there's still an item on Armos, right? So...
That's true.
Armos, and frankly, Armos not going to take very long at this point, even with the couple of rooms before. Yes, Ultros, all the things that go on your feet are in the back of Escape, which is only approachable via the castle, or via Aghanim. Screw that. So, someday Cadenza might have boots and flippers. And I'm frankly kind of astonished that she's doing this before doing, I think, either the front or the back of Escape. Or finishing pot. Oh, she has the found pot.
Yeah, that's true.
So is it good for... I mean, given that Cadenza's here, it's presumably good for her if there's something good at, there's something useful at the end of all this, but...
So far she's only found Quake, which may or may not be the actual Mire entrance.
If dipping Ice Palace for Quake to get into the Mire front entrance after finding the Titan's Mitts if necessary, this seed after being quite kind early, will have turned out to be good and trolly at the end.
Yes, and she's found bombos in Ice Palace.
Well, that at least opens an entrance right now. Unfortunately, it's an entrance in the middle of nowhere. But she hasn't checked any of the top of Darky's Death Mountain. I guess the two might lead her up in that direction. Unfortunately for her, there's nothing there, but I think that would be a reasonable play in her seat.
Oh, and there's that book.
That opens an entrance. So there's 2 more places she can go. Unfortunately for her, Goomba is basically right behind her and has more of the rest of things done. On the other hand, they still have to find Skull Woods, right? So
Yes.
She still has to make her way up to the Zora area to find Pod. Which is...
Is that Ice Front Cave?
Sorry, say again, Nora?
I believe, wasn't Pod at Ice Front Cave?
Our tracker claims it's a waterfall fairy.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's right. Okay.
And let me check the players' trackers. Unfortunately, neither one of them hasn't found it yet. Hotel Mario %. 1 hour and 45. Not a very good time. Every time she flutes somewhere, I'm wishing her to go into the castle.
Yes. That could be her last location.
But there's a bunch of chests. Like it's not that sparse a location, right? As far as places go, and she knows she needs flippers, right?
I hope she does.
Goomba actually using the Ice Palace Big Key to go through the Ice Palace Big Key door. New technology since we discovered Icebreaker. Nobody ever did that before. Goomba is substantially ahead, but they're still hunting Skullwood's main entrance, Lynn. But there's down to 10 entrances left in the game. So in practice, they're hunting the items that unlock the last few entrances, and that's one of them. Unfortunately for Goomba, that unlocks Hotel Mario, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him run straight over there, because what else is he going to do? For some reason, Cadenza has been putting off going to the castle since forever, and unfortunately for her, the back of escape, which is behind Aga, contains both the flips and the boots, hence all the walking. I mean, I believe Faraime lost this week, and he's most people's number 1 seed overall, so there are always ways to lose at Cross Keys.
Yes, last locationing is one of the most common ways to lose. Oh,
I mean,
nice green pendant item, the shovel.
they're not getting knocked out quite yet, Ham. This is a double elimination tournament, but the losers bracket is a bit of a murderer's row at the moment.
But we are going to get a ped check. And it's just 10 arrows.
I'm a little bit disappointed he didn't just blind pull it. Like,
I guess he didn't want to waste the time. You know, I think he feels still not.
I mean, do you think that that Goomba feels behind at this point? That would kind of surprise me, but he hasn't been everywhere. So, oh, and Cadenza finally making the castle play. Purple Alex, before Faraime lost the first round, that was the answer. One of the prizes is you get to be Faraime for a year, so. On the speculation, I mean, there's probably half a dozen top, hot favorites for this tournament, and Goomba's certainly in that group. He's a top tier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's so nice to see some dashing. You have to feel just miserable finally clearing that out almost 2 hours into the seed and getting your flippers and your boots. Those have been sitting there for, when did they first have access to the castle? 20 minutes?
Yeah, fairly early.
And yes, there's the angst about where you use your key, but and because Cadenza had done this section earlier as a bunny, has to go back and take Iki to open pod main, and then can piece out of the area. All of our viewership apparently are busy bragging about their seeds, so we should go back to talking about the game and ignore them, I think. What do you think?
Yes, and Cadenza finally finding pod, so she's gonna pull clear, finish it.
I mean, she's now in item go mode for fucking... Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing. I apologize.
Oh, Beck, this is a mature channel. You are allowed to swear.
Awesome! I'm not gonna, go out of my way, but at least I don't feel bad.
Now, if you drop an F-bomb here now and then, it's fine.
But yeah, there's no reason to full clear, because the only thing that she's looking for is crystals and and Skullwoods, and however the heck to get into Skullwoods. And so you might as well go to the back first, see if Elmasaur gives you the Titan's Mitts or whatever, and then come back later.
I'm glad you're enjoying the tournament, Purple Alex.
I hope you're following this tournament, Purple Alex, because Cross Keys is not the most trivial of the modes to understand what's going on. I wish we could put a map tracker on screen, as well as the item tracker, but it just don't fit.
No.
So if our commentary notes are correct, Goomba should peace out after he checks this next chest, because there's nothing in the pyramid. So we'll see if our notes are correct or Goomba's notes are correct.
Oh, and those are the bits.
He could find the thing.
I wonder if he might... I'm beginning to wonder if maybe Skullwood's back could possibly be in Ice Palace.
I mean, Goomba's down to Turtle Rock Main, Mire area, which includes the Desert Ledge and Ice Palace Main. I mean, that's it. That's all that's left. Oh, and GT, but it can't be in there.
Did anyone
They
pop
haven't
out
checked
of...
Super...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
They haven't checked the bomb yet, but as I recall, the bomb drop is somewhere awkward. So... and where were you wondering if they popped out of?
Has anyone popped out of the Mire entrance?
No, they haven't been. Neither have been anywhere in Mire.
Okay, so they haven't had any connectors to Mire either.
Nope. There's 4 big. We haven't checked this yet. Dots on Goomba's map tracker over there.
Okay. Looks like he's going to check the Ice Palace entrance first.
I find that kind of surprising.
Well, it's a quick check.
Yeah, but Mire's like 4 quick checks.
That's
4 reasonably fast checks. 6 even with the ones on the Desert Ledge. So now, having spent half an hour wishing that Cadenza would go check the castle, we get to spend the next period of time wishing that she climbs GT. Man.
Finding chicken hut in Left Side Desert, not something he's going to bother to explore.
Yeah.
Oh, and there we go. Bosses changing hands.
That puts Goomba in go mode.
Absolutely.
I always find it interesting when the last thing you're looking for is a freaking door. Like, ah!
Yes, locations.
Apparently, our chat has lost interest in the actual race and is busy having fights about sprites. So,
Well, for anyone who's a cat lover, I recommend the Marvin the Cat sprite. It's completely adorable.
Unfortunately for me, I think all of the characters that I would really want to play use the sprites of. The sprites are kind of dubious. So, And thankfully, both of these guys are using totally reasonable ones. Dude the Fourth is not in this race, and his insistence on using the mouse cursor sprite. And here we go. Drop again. Ooh, the final level. And not quite getting there on the quick swap on the way down. See, Cadenza knows what's up. Excellent first two phases from Goomba. This is, fully equipped.
Yeah. This should be a quick fight.
Yeah,
Butter sword, silvers.
Doesn't even bother getting the torch glitch.
Nope, half magic, silvers, not worth it.
And game.
Yeah. Your GG's in chat to Goomba, and he should be joining us shortly. There is a 15-minute delay for this tournament.
Which means he's had 15 minutes to relax and feel good. Cadenza looks like she's carrying on for at least a little bit. Welcome, Goomba. Congratulations. Ran a good race, even if there were some fun locations at the end there.
Yeah, GG's Goomba. Great race. I'm sure you're glad it's over.
I am. Looking at my tracker at the hour mark, and I'm like, okay, so I need a bow, and that's it. And it still makes me climb Ganon's tower.
And some entrances. That's the other thing you needed on your tracker. I swear I promised that you were in item go mode about 3 times, and then we were like, no, he still needs to find an entrance, and they're all trolls.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it was inevitable that I would need the Titan's mitts, but I held out hope until the very last entrance.
Yeah, and I enjoy that they gave you the book, which didn't go anywhere, and so on and so forth. The validation chest is an excitingly terrible location, especially when there's nothing behind Aga 2.
No, the well was in the pyramid. Unless I'm blind. I just forgot I did the well.
No, you are almost certainly less wrong than we are. I believed our trackers, and there was 2 of them, so they can't both be wrong.
But I might just be dumb. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure it was the well.
Alright, I'm going to throw
I
the
don't remember doing the well.
You're running a map tracker, so we'll believe you. So that early game was super, like, here's a Hera key, here's Hera, go. Have a hammer, have a glove. Like, hooray!
The early game was kind of wild. Like, I had, I think, 3 bosses killed before the half-hour mark.
Yeah. No,
2 of which were actually crystals, even. Imagine that.
Yeah, I was hoping that that Hera was a crystal for you, because I feel like 8-minute crystal is hard to beat.
No, it's the first rule of cross keys. If you get an early dungeon clear, it's always abandoned.
Yeah. But yeah, and then, that Ice Rod hunt went on for an awful long time, and of course the 2 bows were right next to each other, just to...
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I was also on Fighter Sword for like an hour, and then I go from Fighter to Butter Sword within like 15 minutes.
Yeah. No, at some point, like, what items does Goomba actually need? And they're like, oh yeah, a sword. Hopefully it's not Sword for Go mode, because that feels really dumb, especially in cross keys. Like,
Yeah, I've had it before. It's always fun.
Yeah. This seed was super strange. A whole bunch of stuff early. Kakariko, just totally full of dungeons, including various bits of desert. And then just nothing for a long time. Thoughts on the footwear in the back of Escape there? That's what Cadenza tripped over pretty hard. She kept putting off the castle.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about those boots. I figured I got them reasonably early.
Yeah, I think you had them for almost an hour before Cadenza did.
Ugh,
Yeah,
yikes.
she got them really late.
Yeah, about 10 minutes ago. Which is why she's doing Swamp as we're chatting.
Yeah. The early game was really loaded. Like, once I got the Moon Pearl, I looked at my tracker and I was like, okay, so I need a bow for sure, I might need the flippers, I need a sword, I need some dungeon entrances, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that Moon Pearl was pretty close to last location as well, right? There's 2 points in the seed where you've basically cleared out the entire map.
Yeah, Moon Pearl wasn't quite last location, because I figured the game tossed like 1,000,000 GT keys at me, so I should probably go back to GT.
Yeah, 4 GT keys that, that's a message.
Yeah, I had a few other spots left.
Yeah.
Similarly, I had a few other spots left, and I climbed GT, not many.
I was busy looking at your tracker to figure out where you were going next when you opened the chest with Moon Pearl in it. That wasn't good commentary. Oops.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of the easier bits of logic to read. Like, a hammer and a hookshot and 4 GT keys is a message.
Yeah. I mean, one of the GT keys was behind the Moon Pearl, but still.
Yeah.
I had 3 of them fully in logic, so should probably go to GT. Because the Moon Pearl's probably behind Ice Armors. I know, look, the Moon Pearl was behind Ice Armors.
Yeah. What is Cadenza looking for in Hidden Coffee Brick? So, do you know your next round opponent yet, Goomba? Or are you waiting on a...
Yes, they played yesterday. I'm playing against Zelda.
Oh, nice. That'll be a good race.
That should be a great race.
He's a really good player, so that should be fun.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how there's just enough randomness in the prelims that a couple of sort of fairly heavyweight matches have happened pretty early in the tournament.
Yeah, the quals definitely. Some of them are a bit messy. Some people ended up with way higher or way lower seeds that they probably should have, so we got some weird matchups going on.
Yeah, I mean, you have to find some compromise between how many quals you're going to run, and it is what it is. There's not a lot you can do.
Yeah.
You could use lifetime stats from the ladder next year probably or something, but first sword 12 minutes. Oh yeah, you had the boots for an hour and 2 minutes before Cadenza did.
Yeah, that's pretty big yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, and as I'm sure everyone knows, the stream is on a delay, so we're going to actually bring Cadenza in early.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah, GG's Cadenza.
Thanks. It wasn't my best seed in all the way possible. My execution wasn't really good, and then I pretty much last location though to Smith, so...
Yeah, well, and we were just looking at the credits scroll by on Goomba's screen, and he had the boots for an hour before you did.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, I knew that Hyrule Castle was something I could do, but there were some dungeons I could finish, so I preferred that over going to Hyrule Castle. And then I've got my flippers, my boots. I was okay. It's open. That opens a lot of entrances that I haven't done yet. So maybe I will find my last dungeon in there. But I found Pud, but not Skullwood. So after that, I was okay. I'm still looking for those myths. Where are those?
In the worst place possible, of course.
Well, I must say, when I got there, I was there. Okay, I know Cackwell is after Agatu. Is there something I might still need? Let me think. I think not. Okay, let's leave this place.
Yeah, I got the myths, and like I had all the medallions, I had the boots. I knew I could access every entrance. I'm just like, nah, we're leaving.
The validation chest is such a naughty location to put an essential item in, and then and in so many cross keys races it wouldn't matter, right? Because the myths are very often useless. But
yep. I feel like I've played a lot of those kinds of seeds recently where there's one item I'm searching for so long, like a fire rod to open the back of Skullwood for an entrance I need, a medallion I need for an entrance, or some things like that. It happens so often recently. I feel it's the worst.
Yeah. It's when you guys got that book in the bottom of Ice Palace, you were just about synced at that point. You both immediately ran over to desert because there's just not there just wasn't very many places left to go.
Yeah.
And Goomba basically got ahead by running faster and some execution stuff here and there.
Yeah, I had a lot of mishap execution-wise, like that. Death on blind was just. It shouldn't have happened. I just don't know why. Considering the equipment I had and the health too.
Your Vitreous fight was epic and well fought, but also took like 90 seconds because you did Master Sword 2 Heart Vitreous.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And then, like 1 minute later, I found my 2 bows. I was like, "Oh my god!" And my tempered sword.
Yeah.
Same. I found those right after Admire as well. I was holding off Admire for so long, trying to get better equipment for Vitreous, and then I gave up and did it. And then I just got Silvers and Tempered right after, and I felt kind of silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It turns out that having health to burn and a red potion already makes Vitreous much better.
It definitely helped going in with like 24 hearts to damage boost with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, watching Goomba do Fighter Sword Ice Armos and being like, "Man, this sucks," and then 10 minutes later, watching Cadenza do Master Sword Ice Armos, being like, "Man, that's even worse."
Yeah, it was not a nice Ice Armos fight.
Yeah.
I
Can never just give us a bow or Cane of Burnow or anything. It's always got to be the stupid sword.
Boomerang is equally horrible.
Boomerang's way worse.
Yeah,
Boomerang's
Kicks did that last year.
Yeah, but I mean, they die in 12 Fighter Sword hits, they die in 48 Boomerang hits. It's a bit of a difference.
Yep.
At least it's safe. Like, Hammer Ice Armos almost came up earlier today, and somebody just noped out of it. Like, nah.
Yeah, no, I hate doing that.
I don't mind doing Master Sword Ice Armos if I have the sword beams. It makes the fight so much easier. But since I had to do the bum jump and I didn't have the powder, there was no way I've got there full health. So,
yeah, you got there with 1 heart missing, and like, oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, but there was no way it was different than that. Well, maybe I could have lit the torch and go on the invisible floor like the vanilla intended way, and maybe that would have been a good idea to do that.
That might be faster, I don't know.
I mean, it gets you sword beams, and sword beam ice armor is actually.
Yeah, sword beam ice armor isn't too bad. It's relatively quick.
I think it would have been faster considering how long the fight took.
Or you can be really, really swag and just have that floor memorized, which I've seen a couple of people do, and it impresses me because...
Yes.
I most certainly don't. I think I've walked across that floor like twice in all my time playing Rando.
Occasionally you see people in cross keys just run into that room and just like run straight across the invisible floor and like, I guess that's a thing you can do.
Yeah. I always just bomb jump or bonk if I don't have...
It's very rare
depending
to
on
see.
if I have boots or not.
What other remarkable things were there in this seed besides putting off the boots for an hour? Cadenza went on an epic 20-minute bunny walk in the early part of the game.
Jeez.
Yeah, with the mirror in hand, she found the connector to sort of, I don't know, it was Dark Chapel or somewhere up there, and walked all the way around the world, which didn't turn up anything good.
Yeah, I try to avoid doing that for too long if I can help it.
Yeah, I think that's part of where you made up time, is that you basically did the same loop after you found the Moon Pearl and the boots. But yeah, I kept looking back at Cadenza's screen and yep, still bunny walking.
With the mirror, it wasn't that bad because I could check some entrances I haven't done yet in the light world, so I was combining both at the same time.
Yeah, with the mirror, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it still feels kind of bad.
One minor game knowledge thing that chat pointed out helpfully is that you can pull the dam while you're a super bunny.
I wasn't sure about that, and I must say I'm not very good usually at time the mirror when going through an entrance. I've got it first try on the north house near Lumberjack, but I was okay, there's no way I'm pulling that off twice in only one try, so I will lose more time trying that than just skip it until I have the Moon Pearl, so let's get back to it later.
Just for future reference, if you weren't aware.
Yeah, it's a good thing to know.
It's exactly how Super Bunny works is one of those super random parts of this game, right? There's not really any rhyme or reason to it.
Yep.
There's so many weird bunny glitches.
What? We have new and exciting bunny glitches this week.
Yeah, we sure do.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
So, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, Goomba, basically if you item dash out a door into bunny state, you can then use that item exactly once as a bunny.
Yeah, something like that.
Exactly why that works, I have no idea. But...
Yeah.
And we'll see if it's legal. And if it is, y'all got some stuff to learn before your next race.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some... It could potentially have some minor applications in entrance, like the hammer peg has in Village of Outcasts. You could check the back of Skullwood as a bunny if you have the fire rod, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one more thing to put in the arsenal, right? Including, you used tech that I hadn't seen in a while today, Goomba. You opened the big key door in Ice Palace. Which, historically, nobody ever did. So, exciting new toys. I think this is the point where Cadenza has finally had enough. No, not quite.
Oh no, I finished the seed, in fact.
Okay.
But like I said, I didn't want to keep you waiting since it took so long before I've got those myths and that Skullwood entrance.
Well, and it's I'm surprised you guys are running this late, given that you're both European.
I'm not European.
Oh, you're not?
You're not?
Canadian.
I should have picked up your accent. I'm also Canadian, but I'm living in Europe. I feel less bad about keeping up late now. Goomba, sorry.
Well,
I'm definitely
Goomba's...
European, but my schedule's all over the place, so I don't really care.
I mean, the apocalypse isn't helping anybody's sleep schedule, so...
That's for sure.
That's a nice way to put it.
I just feel like, not making people feel bad about just about anything going on at the moment is the right thing to do, because the world, she is fucked. So while we watch Cadenza fuss about, you guys have anything else you want to say about the seed of the tournament or what have you?
I mean, it was just one of those typical seeds. You're one item for Goomba in theory really early, and then an hour later you're climbing Ganon's tower and you're wondering what went wrong. Just the usual.
Yeah. You still got it under 2 hours, Goomba, which is...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel too bad about that time, but, like, it was just silly.
Yeah.
Like, I was bow for Go mode super early, and it still made me climb Ganon's tower. Like,
yeah.
That's typical random, though.
Yeah. But I don't feel bad about the time. I feel like it went reasonably well, all things considered.
Well, and you lost the important category, which is, of course, Hotel Mario.
I got destroyed. Sure.
No, Cadenza got it in like 145, and you got it in 150.
Yeah, that was Desert Main, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did ice just before you did. For basically the same reason of like, welp, what is there left to do?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Eastern Palace, Ice Palace, GT Climb, and I had like 3 random overall checks. I had like Magic Bat, Hera Basement, and I think like one other thing. Yeah.
You left behind a couple of awkward items early. Super Bunny into Blind's Hut and dying in Spiral Cave.
Yeah.
And I was like, he'll never get back to those. He got back to those.
I got back to most of them, at least.
Yeah, you got back to Blind and Spiral. Spiral had the lamp, and Blind's Hut just had a single rupee.
Yeah. I mostly went back to Blind's Hut because I wanted to check the rock, though, see if that was Skullwoods.
Yeah. And while you're in there, you might as well pick up the item.
Yeah. Of course it was not Skullwoods, because we can never have nice things.
Yeah, it was boss entry shuffle.
Yeah. Also, there were like so many random vanilla entrances in the beginning. Like I walk in, I fake flipper, I walk in the potion shop and it's the potion shop. I check the fairy drop, but it's the fairy drop, and I'm like, this is entrance shuffle, right?
Yeah, the potion shop was a funny one. I had the mushroom, and I was, okay, I will check the mushroom the vanilla way, I guess.
Yeah, watching you guys have to do the potion shop hokey pokey to get the item ready, like, this isn't how this is supposed to go.
Yeah, that was quite strange.
Yeah. When Cadenza, you had the mushroom hand when you headed over there, and I was like, well, that's convenient. Much more convenient than you expect. Alright. Oh, you missed the butter sword. I forget where the 4th sword was, but...
Yeah,
Well, tempered is enough.
Yeah,
So-
oh yeah. I just,
Yeah. Honestly, I'm usually kind of upset when I find Butter Sword, because I'm like, oh man, now there's all these swords that my opponents can find. I was feeling good about this Tempered Sword. Now they're just gonna have it too anyway.
Well, not in that case.
Yeah, guess not.
GG's, Cadenza?
Yeah, GG's Goomba and Cadenza.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah, a big GG's Goomba. I think I've never finished a cross key in less than 2 hours, so that's pretty impressive considering the seed we've got.
Yeah, this seed was silly, but having the boots much earlier definitely helped a lot.
Yeah.
I regret those.
I can imagine.
A winner is you.
Well,
Seems
that's
like-
not true.
Well,
According to the Triforce, it is.
impolite Triforce message today, but oh well.
Yeah, good luck in your
All right.
upcoming matches. And I guess I'm ready to wrap things up.
Yeah, so good luck in the winner's bracket, Goomba, and good luck next week, Cadenza.
Thanks.
Yes, and I'd
Thank
like
you.
to thank my co-commentator, main commentator, Excalibur, and also our trackers today, Lord Aubergine and Iker. Thank you very much. Also, for anyone who's interested, we are always looking for volunteers. You can check out the Discord if I spell it right. There we go. I'm using push to talk, so it is a little awkward sometimes using the keyboard and trying to type at the same time. And so, thanks everyone for joining us. We should have more matches coming up. We are trying to have as many restreams as possible. That's averaging out about 2 to 3 a day. I think it's been more like 2. So volunteers, please. And
yeah, there's 32 matches this week and 32 more matches next week. So
yes.
Lots of matches coming your way.
Okay.
Thank you for running the restream and keeping me company, Nori.
Oh, my pleasure, and thank you very much for volunteering fairly last minute to make sure that this restream did happen. I really, really appreciate it. So I think with that,
No worries.
Call it a night, and I'm going to send you over to our Ocarina of Time Randomizer Freaky Friday restream on ZSR2. So thanks everyone, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.